and I'll admit that I didn't fully understand our friendship until the past year. Throughout school, Bethany and I were quite the duo. I hear some have even said comedic geniuses. But like most people, we graduated high school, started our lives as adults, and always said that we would get together soon, but never found the time. Sadly, years went by without a single hand on Bethany shenanigan, until one day, October 15th, 2019, Beth texted me, "Want to do something?" Of course I said yes, but nothing could prepare me for her suggestion, which she said, "Would you ever go on a hot air balloon ride?" And I'm thinking, that's odd. My exact words were, something about flying in a basket attached to a balloon scares the shit out of me, so naturally we settled on breakfast. Clearly that breakfast went well since I'm standing here today, and now we spend our weekends crashing Brooke's apartment, occasionally dragging the boys along, for game nights that always turn into girls' nights, and laughing harder than we've ever laughed before. Sometimes when I come home, Andy will ask what we did, and I say, well, we just talked. For 5 hours straight. You talked and did nothing else. And yes, we just talked. And now, I now understand how special that is. Not everyone has friends they can truly be themselves around, to be anywhere and immediately fill the room with laughter, to know that you'll never be judged, unless, of course, you need to be called out for being crazy when necessary. Someone who will always be there to support you and celebrate your successes in life, and to be the sister that I never had. I'm eternally grateful to have shared this chapter of your life with you, and one day I hope that our daughters grow up as friends. And not only that, I hope they embarrass us so bad to pay us back for all the times we embarrassed our mothers. Bethany, I've seen you do a lot of questionable things during our lifetime, but I can confidently say that marrying Neil is the least questionable thing I've ever seen you do.
Beth is without a doubt one of the most caring and loyal friends you could have by your side. She's been by my side for as long as I can remember, whether it was us snuggling in bed reading bedtime stories, or whether it was her tagging along and hanging out with my friends and my now husband. She's always been by my side. Beth, I have filled the role of your protective big sister for the last 26 years. Even though I will always be in your corner, I'm happy that you no longer need your big sister to be your protector anymore. It took around 24 years, but you have finally found a man that I trust with your heart. The Crafts are truly lucky to add such an amazing person to their family today.
Bethany, as a best friend, it was hard to imagine someone truly being worthy of your humor, your compassion, your loyalty, and of course your delicious cooking. Neil, the day I met you, I instantly knew that you'd always love Bethany for all the same reasons that I do. Be there for her when I can, and of course, let her wear the pants in the relationship.
Neil, thank you. You understand Bethany in a way very few people truly do. You know what a beautiful person she is inside and out, and I couldn't ask for a better person to spend the rest of the life with her. The love and the happiness that you give to her is everything I ever wanted for her. Thank you for loving her the way she deserves. Welcome to our crazy family.
Neil and I have seen each other through many more life milestones, ups, downs, every lesson learned in between. Obviously, the most important lesson today is don't let her get away. Which leads me to Bethany. Bethany, you are a beautiful person inside and out. I can't tell you the first time we met, honestly, because it feels like you were always supposed to be here. We have a lot more time ahead of us, but I'm just as sure as Neil when he asked you to marry him that you're going to be an amazing addition to the craft show. Like I said earlier, Neil and I have always been there for each other. So Bethany, I hope you know how glad I am to finally share the burden with someone else. It's now your responsibility to make sure he stays out of trouble and doesn't forget the important lesson that cooks always closes early on Christmas Eve. No, but really, I'm happy to have you in the family, Bethany. I think I speak for everyone here when I say you both made a great choice. Congrats.
I think like many of you, we've had the pleasure to watch the two of you blossom as a couple, and it's really been just a beautiful thing to see, and to see it all come full bloom today is just a wonderful occasion. Today we've come together to witness the union of these two lives. For them, out of the routine of ordinary life, the extraordinary has happened. They met, they fell in love, and they're finalizing it today with their wedding. It's also a celebration for all of us, for it is a pleasure for us to see the love in bloom and to participate in the union of two people who are so delightfully suited to one another. Neil, do you take Bethany to be your wife, to cherish in friendship and love today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two of you live, to trust and honor her, to love her faithfully, through the best and the worst, whatever may come, all the days of your life?
I do.
Good answer. And do you, Bethany, take Neil to be your husband, to cherish in friendship and love today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two of you live, to trust and honor him, to love him faithfully through the best and the worst, whatever may come, all the days of your life?
I do.
Your rings represent this promise to one another. The never-ending circle is a symbol of an infinite, unbreakable love.
Bethany, I give you this ring as a symbol of my everlasting love.
Neil, I give you this ring as a symbol of my everlasting love.
Bethany and Neil, I wish you the strength to be true to these vows. May you always have the wisdom to cherish the love you share. May you nurture yourselves and this marriage with acceptance, understanding, cooperation, and love. May the life you share be peaceful, healthy, and filled with blessings and joy. Having pledged your love and promise to one another today, in front of all of your friends and family, and by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Friends, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you for the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Kraft.
Doing this speech right now really fits into the story of my life, growing up with Neil. I had to do something I really didn't want to do, and Neil gets to sit by and supervise while I do all the hard work. It's not that I don't want to do this. I do. I'm just not known to be great with my words, and definitely don't have a love for public speaking. Lucky for me, my whole life Neil has been pretty much done enough talking for the both of us. The first thing that comes to mind is the infamous brawl in Ithaca. Long story short, Neil tried pretty hard to make some new friends where we weren't really welcomed. What I can say is, though, Neil is a man of his word. When he expects to meet someone outside in 10 minutes, he makes it happen. Me, Neil, Austin, and Bryce found ourselves in enemy territory, but there was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to have each other's backs.
If you know Bethany and I and our infamous friendship, I'm sure you're hoping that my speech is filled with funny, embarrassing stories. But unfortunately, I won't be doing that tonight. You won't hear about that time in 2012 when everyone thought the world was ending, so we made it our mission to get real boyfriends. Or when we touched a very famous singer's sweaty butt at his concert. You won't hear about that tonight. And definitely not that time Bethany almost blew up one of our beloved beer boys, Max Crystal. Where are you? We're glad to have you here tonight. But most disappointing of all, you will not be watching the iconic Baby Got Back music video that we directed, produced, and starred in. It's on private, but maybe for 24 hours only. In celebration of these two, I will take it off private. So why am I not talking about these things tonight? Because our friendship, shockingly, is more than just being weird, awkward, and embarrassing.
Now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be sheltered to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other. Now there will be no loneliness, for each of you will be the companion to the other. As you leave here to enter into the day of your togetherness, may your days be good and long upon the earth. So by joining hands and looking into each other's eyes, let it be known that you are joined body and soul in this lifetime, and that this bond is sacred and eternal. Happiness in marriage doesn't just happen. A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It's never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say I love you at least once a day. It's never going to sleep angry. It's standing together and facing the world. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget, both of those. It's giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It's a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is not only marrying the right person, it's also being the right partner. Bethany and Neil, you've known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment today. At some point, you decided to marry, and from that moment of yes to this moment, you've been making a lot of informal commitments. All those conversations that you had in the car, or over a meal, or during long walks with the dogs. All those conversations that begin with things like, when we're married, and continued with, I will, and you will, and we will. All those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe, and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these seemingly common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The vows that you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things that we promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all, every word. So look at one another and remember this moment. Before this moment, you were many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner. Shortly, you will say a few words that will take you across the threshold of life. And things between you will never quite be the same as before. After today, you will say to the world, this is my husband and this is my wife.